I wanted to share a small tip I learned today from using SalesLoft. I think it could save you some time in the future, especially if you're new to SalesLoft. So say you wanted to add a person to SalesLoft, create a person. Right now I'm in my People's tab, and usually how you do that would be create a person, and you add their first name, their last name, email address, and that's fine when it's one person, but when it's multiple people, say 200, 500, what's a way that you could do that and save yourself time? One way you could do that is by using the import from CSV feature. I'm going to explain how to use that today. Over in this tab, I have some example people, dummy 1, dummy 2, dummy 3. And one thing to remember for SalesLoft is that emails are a primary identifier, and I'll show you what that means in a bit. Now, what I'm going to do, I save this to my desktop, the tutorial leads. I'm going to click import from CSV. I'm going to choose that CSV file. It's called tutorial leads sheets 1. And one thing to note is that SalesLoft is going to use these columns to try to map what data should go into what field. So if you could see, I have email and first name. It pulled those columns from right here, email, first name. And then it first gives a first good attempt to try to map it. So since I have an email and email, first name, that's pretty easy. But you could change it and map it to a different field. So I'm going to click next. Now, one thing to note, remember how I said that email is a primary identifier? SalesLoft already found somebody named Dummy01 with that email. So instead of putting two of the same emails in SalesLoft, because say maybe somebody else had that lead, instead it warns you with that little orange background, and then says re-importing people that already exist in SalesLoft will update their profile with any new information, meaning any information I put in that CSV will overwrite what's already there for that email. So if the first name is Dummy01, whoever had Dummy01 email, their name would change to whatever is in this new CSV. But that's what that means, that email is a primary identifier in SalesLoft. One cool thing is that you could add a tag. So let's say these are tutorial leads. So now if I want to find the leads that I added in the CSV, I tag them so it's easier to find them later. And you could also finish and immediately add them to a cadence. But for now, I'm just going to finish and import. And here are my leads. You see that they're tagged, so they're easy to find. And that was just for 4, but SalesLoft could take up to 5,000 leads at a time. So that's the tip, and I hope it saves you some time in the future.